Episode 336 of the 365 Message Center show. Oh, that was just 365, 336. We've got a way to go, haven't we, Daniel?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just looking forward to it when we can say episode 365 of the 365 Message Center show. Sorry. Back to the intro. Copilot in Microsoft 365 and Teams is going to have a catch-up feature. It's all in the name, but we'll get into the details shortly. We will have, there's been a recall on the recall feature. Not quite, but maybe just some adjustments to make sure that we're listening to your feedback. And lastly, some improvements to the text web part in SharePoint Online so that we can make the text look a bit better, function as we expect it to. This is episode 336. We'll see you soon.
Yes. 336. You had a little trouble there.
I did.
With the 336 and the 365. I feel like we could have a rap song. Maybe we need to put together a rap song. A rap song. Maybe we need to put together a rap for our episode 365.
Yeah, let's get the same people who created the rap for the Canva product launch.
We should totally do that. We should.
Awkward. Yeah.
Yes, everyone. Hello. Welcome to this week's episode of the 365 Message Center Show. We are so excited to talk about all of these messages, and we'll jump right into it. However, we do want you to know that we want you to be involved with the show. So please leave your comments down below on the YouTube video. If you're listening on the audio podcast, or if you would like to just do socials, hit us up at 365MCS on all of the socials that matter. Please let us know what you think about the episodes. Let's get a conversation going. You could even email us at the email address show@365mcs.com. Make sure to use the chapters, right, Daryl?
Yeah, definitely. But you know how we asked for feedback?
We did.
Last time? We got it, man. There were people that said, hey, we love how you run the show and we like the full episode. We definitely want to hear it all together as a full episode. But some were saying, yeah, but as long as we get that, you're quite welcome to try and, break up the chapters into separate videos and try it out.
I like how you elaborated, because I don't think anyone said you're quite welcome to give it a shot, give it a try, but that's the words you use.
No. It was Daryl 2657.
Wait a minute. A minute. Is this your other YouTube account where you go and you use to comment on stuff?
No. Sometimes this person and a few other Daryls comment on our stuff to boost our morale.
Daryls have to stick together. You know what else I think needs to stick together is Copilot in Teams and Copilot across 365. That's what I think needs to stick together.
Well, you would be right in asking for that, because it's the same thing, sort of,
yeah.
because it's super consistent. But in this case, it will be Copilot in Microsoft 365 and Teams. So that is when you go on the app rail of the M365 homepage, and when you go into the app and the Teams experience, you'll see Copilot. There will be a catch-up feature for that. That's MC799636. The catch-up feature is it's almost like a additional tab, Daniel, on that home page for before you put your prompt in. And there'll be cards on a carousel that will give you some insights into, here's something that might be useful to you for an event that's coming up or a document you've been recently working on. And it gives a summary. It gives like a who was involved, almost like a people card and the little icon for what the document is or the activity. And you'll be able to trigger off a prompt to get more of the details. Would that be useful to you? What do you think?
I don't know. It is useful that it's in Teams. It's on, Microsoft365.com. We could still use Office.com too, right? I think you can still use Office.com and get to the same place.
Yeah. So correction, it's not on the Microsoft365.com homepage, but rather the app rail down the side.
No, it is. It's both, right? Let me check.
Are you sure?
I'm checking right now.
So they're going to replace the suggested documents with this.
No, they're just, when you can go to the Microsoft365.com and have those different option things.
Yeah.
The different apps, I guess, on the left-hand side, there's a Copilot there.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There is that Copilot page.
Yeah. So that is, I think they're replacing or adding to that landing page for that, where right now it's just, here's some useful things you can do, like, prep for that meeting that's coming up or whatever.
Yep.
They're adding this tab. I think this would be useful, but it seems like it could be a little more useful. I don't know. I feel I'm just looking at a screenshot, right, Daryl? I mean, that's kind of all we have to go off here in this message itself, other than learn more links. But I think that is, it's like I'd like a little bit more information on there before I click into it, because I don't know if that's really the right stuff I want. But I'd like to hear what you think about the tab way of doing this, because it seems maybe not. I don't know. Will people actually click the tab?
Probably not, right? I can imagine at some point they might even switch that around so that the try these prompts is actually second, and that they start with Catchup. Maybe they're going to test this out, but there's a card there in the screenshot, an example of, you've attended a meeting, you've clicked record, you've got the AI generated notes and the recording. There's a little summary in the blurb there about what the meeting was about, and the prompt at the bottom, it's key takeaways. So you'd click on that, it would create the prompt for you and launch it, and would probably have the key takeaways from the meeting based on the transcript. I'd want to be able to click on that and just be taken right through to the intelligent recap tab of the meeting, so I can see all of it for myself and not just look at a prompt or the response to a prompt.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an experience in Teams and on the Microsoft365.com page where you can launch into the Copilot app, and it is going to be generally available worldwide, rolling out late June 2024, expected to be complete July 2024. So soonish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel, there was an interesting development, new message here for Viva Engage, which caught me by surprise. Let's see what you think of it. Microsoft
Viva, a new feature to manage users in Viva Engage. View only mode. MC799633.
What?
This is an interesting. This message was very interesting, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But this basically is going to allow admins to turn people's access into view only for Viva Engage, meaning they won't be able to add content into Viva Engage. Only view.
So they won't be able to engage, Daniel?
Aha, right. They're going to be able to read. So it's going to be Viva Read for them. So the reason why it was interesting is I was sitting in a session during TechCon 365. I was in Seattle this past week. I was sitting in a session. I actually believe it was in Sarah Hazi's session that she was giving on Viva. And someone asked if there was a way to turn people's ability off to post into Viva Engage if they were being maybe not so nice. And, the conversation was around that. And of course no, there's not a way to do that until now. So starting in July 2024, you will have a setting in the admin center for Viva Engage to be able to place individual users in view-only mode. Now, that said individual users. I think that's interesting to note because it feels like to me it is targeted toward individual users. Now
Can we just call this the naughty quarter feature?
Maybe that's what we should do. It is not. You're not going to be able to create posts, comment, react, and more. So in the screenshot, it shows add user. For instance, if I want to, Daryl has made a comment. Maybe it's something where Daryl has not broken any rules to get rid of Daryl, or maybe Daryl is so important that we don't want to fire him, but we really don't want him commenting anymore. Then we just put him in a read only, and he still gets the information. That's with Viva Engage being our communication tool, we still want him to see it, but he is making bad decisions. Now, Daryl, I think for this, it seems like to me there could be another use case. Actually, you mentioned this use case in the green room about maybe thinking this through of maybe frontline workers or something like that, where you might kind of maybe use it this way. But with doing individual users, it seems like it's not made for that, right? Because wouldn't you be able to create like security groups, right, to target if that was the case?
Yeah, that would be my hope. So just expanding on that use case, I've come across some organizations that want to make use of Viva Engage for frontline, but they want to ease into it. They want to use it as a communications tool, but they don't necessarily want people to reply yet because they want to just ease into it. I've got some thoughts about that. But it's one approach. And yes, you would need to apply this to a whole group, not individual users. So that's not what we see here on screen.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be set up for that. Now, users will see that they are put in that mode. They won't get a notification like via email or anything like that, notifying they have been put into view only. When they go, they'll see a banner. No one else will actually know that they're in view only. So if Daryl has been put into view only, I will not know that Daryl's in view only. So that kind of makes sense. There's not going to be any special designations or anything like that. So this will be rolling out early July 2024, completed by late August 2024. I want to keep talking. So is that okay?
You can, by all means, by design.
The next one I wanted to talk about, because in the previous episode, we talked about this recall feature that had been announced for new Copilot Plus PCs. So this message is update on the recall preview feature for Copilot Plus PCs, MC799525. When we talked about it, it really was, it's a cool feature, we thought, but there was some concerns. And apparently we weren't the only one talking about those concerns. Concerns around, hey, that it was going to be on by default. And, it wasn't a choice you were making. It was just on. Now this message does not have a whole lot of information, but it does have the very important link at the bottom that gives you the blog post that was posted talking about the changes that are going to be made. But essentially, it's going to be off by default. So you're going to have to, it's going to ask you to do it. I'm sure Microsoft wants you to turn it on, but it's not going to turn it on for you. And you will have to use Windows Hello, so you have to enable that on the machine to be able to log in, to be able to use this feature, I should say. And then, because what it's going to do is when you then authenticate through Windows Hello, you actually have access to those files, those images that then can be used to by Copilot to go, hey, when you say show me all of the, where was I reading the article about this, right? And when it authenticates you through the Windows Hello, it decrypts and goes, okay, now I can use these images, and it goes and finds this stuff. So, I know it's just a short message here. Take a look at the update that was released to get more information on that. And I think the last thing I'll say about this is they're going to make these changes before the rollout. Before this is rolled out in the middle of this month, they're going to have those features turned on, or rather, in the first instance, turned off, because it's not going to be turned on by default. But before, so it's not they're not going to roll out with the concerns not addressed and then patch it later, per se. So it's just important to note.
Indeed.
You know what else is important to note, Daryl, is that for the new Outlook for Windows, there's some changes coming.
Yeah, and maybe it's addressing something that you didn't realize about New Outlook. But New Outlook for Windows will be getting offline support for mail actions and composing messages. And this is MC798674. That's right. If you haven't noticed, New Outlook does not store your messages on your machine. It's very much like Outlook Web Access. It looks like it.
What? Wait. What?
There you go.
It doesn't store it on the...
Correct.
What?
Yeah. So it is just a wrapper in a sense. There'll be, I guess, a few different files that are part of New Outlook as it downloads to make it load quicker, but it's not really storing any content on your machine until now. So what is it going to store? It's going to allow you to store, well, by default to start with, it'll store 7 days worth of mail, but you can change that to up to 180 days. No, 30 days. Hang on.
180.
Up to 180 days. 180 days of mail. It'll store locally on your machine. Now, bear in mind that as you make this change, it's going to consume some storage, but we've been used to doing that with a classic app.
Apparently not, Daryl, because you telling me. So for people who didn't, this is not a shtick. We're not. Daryl and I were talking about this message, and he was like, "Yeah, because when you're using the new Outlook, when you're not connected to the internet, it's basically doesn't have your stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, it does." And he's like, "No, it doesn't." Mm-hmm. I'm like, "Oh, I guess I'm always connected."
You said.
I was like, "What?"
That's what you said.
That's exactly what I said. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
calendar items or events, it'll store by default up to 30 days in the future and 30 days in the past, but you can again adjust that to 180 days. It will allow you to peruse your inbox, read your messages, save them. Basically triage them. So you can archive them, shift them to different folders and to deleted items, snooze them, favorite them. You can craft a new message and send it so it'll sit there in, I guess, your outbox. And you can do all that offline. And they say that this is the first set of offline features. There's going to be more coming. But I think that's a good start. It's really hitting some of the key things that may fulfill Daniel's what question. There'll be a section in the general settings of New Outlook called offline mode where you can make these changes, and it will be, you can apply it account by an account. So if you've got multiple accounts connected to New Outlook, then you can change them there.
I can't be the only person in the world that just assumed that the only, not the only, but a major feature of Outlook Classic, as we call it now, was that you had access to your email at all times, even if you weren't connected to the internet. I can't be the only person that thought this.
Well, I've got a question for you, Daniel, because I know that you've been using Outlook Web Access for quite some time. Are you still using Web Access, or have you been using the new Outlook?
I've been using the new on my new. Okay. I bought a new machine, and
for this many months or so, you've never come across a situation where you needed to use it offline.
Apparently not.
So that's a whole other conversation, which we won't go into for this show. But general availability for this capability will be worldwide, will begin rolling out late June and complete late July. Right. Oh, look, I want to keep talking, Daniel.
Fine, do it.
Well, you mean you did, so it's my turn to hog the mic. Moving on to... let's stick with Outlook. I mean, I think they're sponsoring this episode. Improved suggested times for meetings. This is MC798319. Coming soon to Outlook for Windows, Outlook on the web. I think this is still, we're talking about New Outlook here. But when you go to book a time, that you're putting an appointment together, you're adding people's names, and you've got suggested times below that, and there's 2 or 3 there. It's an improvement, Daniel. What it's going to do is it's not going to be visible. You'll have a little link called Find a Time. You can click that, and then you'll just see the suggested times.
So wait a minute. So it's going to take a feature and hide it behind clicking something to show the feature again.
Yes, that's it.
What?
That's it. See,
what
we need to have
is it
that
with
on
Outlook? What is going on? Why would you hide this feature? Is it because it's not a useful feature and people are just tired of seeing it, or why?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's just taking up too much space.
Maybe.
Yeah, but you have to click that to see the suggested times.
So it's Find Time, you said.
Well, no, it's called Find a Time.
Oh,
so that was my first thought. Would it be confused with Find Time? But that's been renamed already to scheduling polls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe they were freeing up
time.
Find a Time. Yes. I don't know. Maybe I'm not reading this close enough, but that's about all I see in terms of the improvement. It's still going to suggest a time based on the people that you've added to the required or CC, or rather optional field. It's going to still show you any of those clashes down on the right-hand panel to help you plan. But apart from that, it hides those suggested times. So get ready for some extra space in your invite window because general availability, it'll be out early in July 2024 and expected to be complete late July 2024. Daniel, I want you to fill me in on some developments around sharing links.
Yes, Microsoft 365 apps set expiration available for all links when sharing. MC799277. This one is interesting because it's on many fronts here, and I'll try to cover them all. First of all is in the title, Microsoft 365 apps. So when they say that, when Microsoft says that in an app, they mean the apps of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, although in this case I don't think it applies. So in the Microsoft, this message applies to Microsoft 365 apps for the web, desktop, Windows, Mac, etc. So does that mean then it does not apply to a sharing link that you're on a SharePoint page and you're doing a share? Because that's not an M365 app.
From the document library, for example.
Right, correct. Okay, but I thought we were going to a unified sharing experience, and we had, right? If you're in OneDrive folder on your machine locally and you do share, when you do it in Word to do share, when you share from a SharePoint library, it's all the same share dialogue. Fantastic. That's wonderful. So now we're going away from that? I'd like some clarity. Please,
I'll
Microsoft.
give you clarity. SharePoint's just an app.
Yeah, apparently. So that's the first confusion I have with this. But the other one is, okay, so what is this message? I haven't even told you yet.
Come on.
So right now, you're able to set an expiration when you do an anyone link, right? When you're doing an anonymous anyone link, you're able to set an expiration. This helps control the sprawl of sharing of the information, because an anyone link can be forwarded to, you guessed it, anyone. So you can do things like create a link that you're going to share out anonymously to someone or a few people and say expire tomorrow or whatever, so that when you're like, give them time to click the thing, but not time to forward it around the world and everyone in the world sees it. Kinda, right? Things like that. Well, now we are going to get the ability to set expiration on the other types of sharing. Okay? So when you select the people in your organization and people you choose, you will be able to set an expiration as well. This is interesting because the way links work and giving actual permissions versus having permission to click the link. What do I mean? Well, for instance, if you designate the people in your organization, you choose that, and you're going to then copy the link and send it out to people, right? Well, no one, the access control list to the actual document that you're sharing does not change until the people that have your link, your special link, click on the link. Then, even though they have you have shared it with them, they're not added to the permissions of the document until they click the link. When they click the link, they're added to the permissions of the document directly. Okay. Great. That seems logical with this update, I set an expiration. If it's expired, the access control list hasn't changed until people actually click it. When someone goes to click it and it's expired, it's caught before they're put onto the permissions of the document, right? And the link goes, doesn't work anymore. Sorry. Mm-hmm. What's confusing is when you do the adding for specific people, what has happened before, and I would like some commentary on this. Maybe the peoples out in our listeners' world here, they can, our community, they can chime in here and tell me I'm wrong, and that's fine. I've been wrong once or twice in my life. Is that when you do specific people and you add them in that shared dialogue and you send it, then they are actually added to the permissions of the document. It's not the link as I just previously described with the other type. So if you set an expiration on that link, what happens to the permissions on the document? Because I'm sending a link to Daryl, to him specifically, along with 15 other people, right? Right now, I believe he's added to the permissions of the document, not just the link. So if I expire the link and he never clicks on the link, then is he removed from the permissions of the document too when it expires? I don't know. Is it just that link expires, but he still has access to the document? Are they fundamentally changing the way this link works and aligning it with the people in my organization? I'm confused. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, Daryl. And it doesn't say it in this message, so I'm not sure. I will be clicking the thumbs down on the bottom of this message, just only to say I want clarity on how this is going to work for that specific share type. So that's what I'll be doing. What do you think, Daryl? Do you have any thoughts on how this might work?
No, I think you've delved into it quite well, that specific link, it operates differently. And the expectation I have when seeing the ability to expire should be across the board, whatever link I choose. In fact, my expectation is that it's going to expire access to the link. So even if someone has clicked the link and they've been added as someone from my organization, people in Contoso, I would expect that after that date has expired, they no longer have access. I wonder if that's how it will operate.
Yeah,
I know, I had to throw a third one in there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. But you know what? We can test it by having our targeted tenant on and testing it late June 2024 through early July 2024. And then general availability worldwide, GCC, GCC High, and DoD will be starting to roll out early July 2024 and expected to be completed by mid-July. This is why you need more than one tenant. As an organization, you must have two tenants, one set to targeted release and one set to standard. You'll be able to test this and figure it out. So that will be rolling out very, very soon. And then, you know what, Daryl? I'm going to put you on mute here because I'm going to keep talking. SharePoint Online Enhancements to Text Web Part 1. MC 799209. This is a scheduled Part 1 of a release for improvements to text web part that includes the ability to make ginormous text. So from font size 8 to 250. So you can go, I saw a demonstration by Kathy Dew, who works for Microsoft, and I believe that it was where she was showing off some of the new branding you can do, and there was just this page with this big ginormous words, and I mean it fit in the demonstration. It fit because when you're trying to do a specific type of aesthetic on a page, and it anyway, but cool. So we're going to get that larger font support. Also, you're going to different types of bullet list styles. So if you're bored with the bullet list, we're going to be able to do some disc, circled, square. So it's kind of nice to have some different types of that list style. I'm actually excited. I'd like to get your thoughts, Daryl, on this whole numbered list styles, but also setting custom number list, right? Like being able to say, I want to start from a different number or restart or whatever, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, that's exactly the feature I like about this. There's often been times where I've wanted to list things and still have the numbers consecutive, but you know that when you hit enter and you add maybe an image or something in between, then sometimes you aren't able to continue the list or start from the number that you kind of left off from. So this will allow us to do that, to have that consistency rather than trying to hack our way through by doing things in a certain order. Or what I do sometimes, Daniel, is I try to just use plain text, so it's not a numbered list, and I end up having to just, number 4, full stop, space, continue, to try and get that consistency.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited about this, but great, we're excited. It's just a part 1. There's more to come. So I'm quite excited about this. So for this one, we are looking at a mid-May 2024, which has already been, and expected to be complete by late June 2024 for targeted release. General availability worldwide, GCC, GCCI, and DoD will be early, mid, late month 2024. And okay, I'm just going to keep reading. Hey guys,
You might have.
we missed a template edit, so we need to edit that when it's rolling out. Oops.
Early, mid, late month 2024.
No, but that's cool. We get to see how it's actually in the template. We just need to edit that one. Hopefully by the time you're actually watching this, that will be edited and updated. We'll see. But that's it. That's all I got.
That's all you got. That's all we got this week.
That is exactly correct. I'm glad I unmuted you though when I asked you a question earlier, so that you could actually chime in. Thank you everybody for being here and participating. Daryl, you mentioned the whole, people had responded to our prompts and everything. It was exciting to see that. I will say, someone mentioned, and I can't remember the comment, and I am very sorry, whoever it was. Thank you for chiming in, saying that they appreciate our banter, and
Rhonda.
have a little fun with this. Why not? We're not robots.
Yep.
And greatly appreciate people saying that, because we want to have fun with you, right? So.
Yep. So thank you for leaving those comments. Do continue to do so. Send us the occasional email if you feel that's the mode. And you know where to find us on the socials at 365 MCS. So we'll see you again in episode 337 next week. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.